Good morning, Peru. It is Wednesday, Juneteenth, 19th of June. Happy Juneteenth. Um, and I'm making a video about nothing in particular that's of interest, but just kind of an update on what's going on. I have a list of things to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is, actually, before I jump into my stuff, I really enjoyed your video about the play. Um, it looked like a lot of fun, and I'm super impressed with how much time and effort and creativity you put into organizing the read through that you did with your friends. So yeah, that's good. Um, Keep doing exciting, creative stuff like that, so that the rest of us feel inadequate. You just do that. Um, let's see. So what have I been up to? So I think I put in the video. I replaced that cellar door, which kind of led to cleaning up the back of the house, and so our neighbor that way is putting a new roof on his house, and he actually got a dumpster to put all the stuff in. And at some point, he told us if we had garbage, we could throw it in the dumpster. So we've thrown a ton of stuff in the dumpster and gotten rid of it, and cleaned out around the back of the house. And honestly, as we went through it, all the junk we had, and I was like, oh, we got a ton of junk here. It's like nothing compared to what we took out of the house in Wales. I mean, it's like maybe 10% of what we took out of the house in Wales. Which puts everything in perspective, right? But then after cleaning it up, and we kind of did a little bit at a time, several days in a row. After cleaning it all up, I pressure washed the back of the house, and it was I don't think I'd ever cleaned the back of the house since we had the house resided in 2010, so like 14 years. And this vinyl siding, it has a little bit of electrical charge to it, and so dust tends to stick to it. And the back of the house was just filthy. And I think I'm going to cut in footage here of me walking around back there. But yesterday, after I had pressure washed it. So I just moved, after we cleaned everything up, yesterday I moved everything away from the house, threw tarps over the stuff I didn't want to get wet, and just pressure washed, and then left it to dry. And this morning everything's all dry again. And it looks so much better. So I'm really pleased with the way that came out. Let's see, I've got 3 other things here to talk about. First of all, I know I've talked to you about my gout before, and I've gone on drugs to help control that. And the doctor upped my dosage. And so this was 2 weeks ago. I went to see the podiatrist, and so I basically am taking double the dosage I was taking before. And so he called in the prescription to our local Walmart pharmacy. And it's interesting because Sarah and I, the experience we had getting this filled, it reminded us a little bit of the bureaucracies that we ran into in Wales, trying to deal with the house, except for, in this case, it's healthcare, right? So I talked to the doctor on the phone. He says, I'm going to call in, we'll send in this prescription. And the pharmacy usually always texts Sarah when the prescription's ready, right? So we don't hear anything. So yesterday, or day before yesterday, Sarah calls the pharmacy, and they say, it was Sunday, and they say, well, they called in the prescription. Oh no, they say there's no prescription here for Dan. And so I'm like, okay. And so on Monday morning, I called my doctor, and they said, well, we electronically sent in the prescription on the 6th. Like, well, it's been 2 weeks. It probably they stocked it, and then I didn't pick it up, so they took it back. And my thought was that they didn't get it. I so my doctor says call the pharmacy, and then if you need us to send it in again, we will. And so I call the pharmacy, and this woman at the pharmacy answers, and she's super stroppy with me. She's like, "Well, that came in on the 6th. Clearly, it was stocked, and then it never got back to you." Well, they never texted to tell us it was in, right? And she said, "But we'll pull it and have it ready for you this afternoon." So I'm like, okay. So I go in at 4 o'clock to pick it up, and it's this long line. I get up to the front, and they're like, "Well, we need pre-authorization from your insurance to make sure they'll pay for it, because with just the change dosage." And Sarah's like, "Well, what does it cost without the insurance?" And she's like, "It's $750." We're like, "Well, we're not going to do that." And so the the 100 milligram dosage, the earlier one, was like $7, literally $7, for 3 months of the pills. And so I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." And she says, and I said, "Well, didn't you have the authorization when you stocked it the first time? When you restocked it?" And it turns out, I think they never restocked it, right? They never actually pulled it. They never texted us, because when the woman's like, "Well, let me go talk to the pharmacist. Maybe we can just give you a double the number of 100 milligram pills instead of giving you 200 milligram pills, and then we don't have to get new authorization." So that's literally what they did, and we paid like $7, or $14, I don't know what it was, for this without insurance. So if we had wanted 200 milligrams pills, we would have had to pay $700. I mean, literally like 20 or 10 times, 50 times as much, for the same medication, just because it's in one pill instead of 2 pills. And plus, the pharmacy, the communication between the pharmacy and the doctor, I don't know whose fault it was. I suspect the pharmacy just dropped the ball, because Sarah actually did get a text from them automatically when the prescription was ready. I mean, we were in the store at the time, but so yeah, it's just kind of this crazy bureaucracy, and it's hilarious. It's so nonsensical, but such is life. So the next thing I wanted to talk about briefly was my mom's health. So my mom went to the cardiologist yesterday. Brad took her, and sounds like there's been this ongoing thing. Do they want to come to Wales? But my mom keeps saying, "My doctor won't let me go. My doctor won't let me go." Blah blah blah. And so Brad went in with her to see the cardiologist. We've decided, one of the discussions we've had is that one of us will always go in to see the doctor with her, because the stories we get from mom and dad are inconsistent, and so we're going in with them now. So Brad went in, but mom came back from the doctor and called Sarah, and then Brad called me, and then Linda called Sarah, and so we've had like 3 different conversations about how it went now. I think we've triangulated in on the truth, but basically, mom asked the doctor if she could go to Wales, and the doctor said, "You keep asking me if you can go to Wales. If you want to go. Listen to your body. If you feel up to it, you should go. If you're willing to assume the risk, you clearly want to go. Just do it." And so, and that's what Brad said, the doctor said. Now, mom was like, the doctor told her to listen to her body, and if she felt okay, she could go. But, I think I've told you that the conversation I'd had with mom was, you don't ask your doctor if you can go. You ask your doctor what the risks are and what his concerns would be about you going. And then you make the decision. So, sounds like we're on at this point, unless there's a major change in mom's health or dad's health between now and October. We're going to go with Brad and Linda, and Jesse's going to come. and we still need to work out the details, how long they're going to stay and all that. But I'm super excited about that. I'm hoping it will be really fun, and I'm hoping we can set it up in a way where we minimize the stress on mom and dad. You know, we're going to get mom a wheelchair, like our own personal wheelchair that we take with us, and so that she never has to walk. You know, Brad said that they did a ultrasound while they did the stress test. So the doctor was actually able to show him what's going on with the heart, and she has basically a muscle that's part of the heart muscle is like, I don't know if it's hardened, and so it's not flexible, and it's next to the valve. So the valve seems to work pretty well when she's resting, but when the heart starts beating faster, that hardened part of the heart prevents the valve from functioning correctly, and so she just needs to take it easy, and that's just never gonna. They don't have a method for making that better at this point. So yeah, so we're looking forward to in the fall. I assume we'll all go over together. There'll be 7 of us. We'll rent a big van, and or maybe we'll rent 2 cars. If Brad may want his own car, which I think honestly would make him much happier. And there's a big loud truck. And then we'll have a good time, and they'll stay as long as they want to stay. They're going to have to kind of negotiate that between mom and dad and Brad and Linda, and I think they're better off staying longer, because it's going to be tiring. The trip's going to be tiring, and having like a week to recover and just hang out, and then you know, they'll have space where they can do the things they want to do and sit and look out and watch the seagulls and the sunsets. So yeah, should be fun. So the last thing, now that I've talked on and on, is that we're having house guests today, hopefully later today. Some friends of ours from California who I used to work with, the husband, and they have kids that are 2 boys who are around Garrett's age, and one of their boys is a semi-professional cyclist now, and he's doing a race. Actually, I don't know if he's full-time professional, but he's doing a race up in the Blue Mountains, and they're coming through, and they're going to spend the night tonight, and we're going to get to hang out with them and see them. I'm really looking forward to it. They've been up to visit us a couple times since we've been here, and they contacted us just a couple days ago. So it's a super nice surprise. Looking forward to seeing them and hanging out. So I hope things are going well for you. I will try to be better about making videos, although we're going to camp on Saturday, so there will be no videos for that week because we'll be at Baha'i Summer School and we don't have internet access. So, but maybe a good video or 2 after camp. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Hope you have a great day.